Okay. So we're still dealing with, what if an offer was made and something happened before it was accepted to terminate the offer? What happens if something happens between the cup and the lip? Okay. What we were just talking about was rejection, and that was one of the things in our drill. Boy, we got far down in that, huh? Before we can move on to the next one. Um, but the termination of the offer without consequences can also occur if the offeror takes back or revokes. This is our other R, our second R in the drill. Revokes the offer before the offeree accepts it. Once the offer is accepted by the offeree, a contract is created so the offeree and the offeror can't change their minds. But before that, the offeror has the right and the power to take back the offer before it's accepted. There are some exceptions to this, though. And again, remember, the offeror has as this biggest power, the power to revoke the offer before it's accepted. They have the power to revoke the offer before it's accepted. But there are three exceptions to that rule. And these are the three exceptions. The offeree can essentially buy away the offeror's right to revoke the offer by entering into an option contract. Keep in mind, this is a separate contract that the offeror has with the offeree that specifically just says, I agree to keep this offer open for a certain period of time. And it has separate considerations. So you pay, as an offeree, the offeror the power to take that power away. Why would you want to do that? Well, you might need to get your ducks in a row. And you know that whatever it is that you want to buy from the offeror can be sold to somebody else, and you don't want that to happen because you really want it. But you have to get things lined up first. So you buy time is essentially what you're doing. Keep in mind that when you have an option contract, that you don't have to say yes. It's still an offer. All you've done is made it so that offer will not be able to be taken back by the offeror. But you still, during that period of the option contract, but you can still say no to it in the end, either because you can't find the money, or you found something you like better, or you just decided not to do it. So it's not a commitment. It's just, give me time. Okay, but it is a separate contract between the parties. If the offer is for a unilateral contract that has to be accepted by performing requested act, like we talked about, then the rule is actually that anything less than full performance will not be an acceptance that creates a contract. But you can imagine that can present some problems because it is an act. It's not something you can very quickly say. It's an actual act that has to be done. And if you also have, along with that, the fact that the offeror can take the offer back anytime they want to before it's performed, then the issue becomes, how can I, in doing the act, protect myself during the time that I'm doing it so that it doesn't get taken back? Well, you sort of don't have to do that because the law does it for you. That second exception is for unilateral offers where performance is substantially begun. So during the time that you're actually trying to do the act that will result in you accepting the offer, the offeror's power is suspended. The offeror's power to revoke is suspended, and they can't take it back once you've started to substantially perform. Okay. The last is the merchant's firm offer. UCC only rule. Alert, 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 alert. UCC only rule. This operates sort of like an option contract, but it's a UCC only rule, and it has some other requirements. But essentially what you're doing is you have the right to buy time. or you have the right to have some extra time if you've got a merchant's firm offer under the UCC. So, if a merchant, which is under the UCC, a person who deals in goods of the kind involved in the contract, if a merchant gives a written, signed offer stating that it'll be held open for a specific period, which cannot exceed 90 days, then it will be effective to suspend the offeror's power to revoke during that period, even with no consideration. You have to have consideration in an option contract. You don't have to have it in a merchant's firm offer. Okay? So it's possible to have, if you're buying goods, either a merchant's firm offer or an option contract. But in an option contract, you would not be able to have your merchant firm offer situation. You'd have to have more than just somebody signed assurance that the offer would be held open for a certain period. You actually have to give consideration. Okay? The last two bases for an offer to be terminated. Remember, we're still talking about cup and lip. We're in that interim period of an offer's been given, but it has not yet been accepted, and something could happen to terminate it. So our last two things in our drill, I guess, yeah. Last two things are that the subject matter of the offer becomes illegal before it's accepted, in which case there is no longer an offer. It wasn't illegal when the offer was made, or we'd have a different issue. But a perfectly legal offer was made, and then it became illegal to have that subject matter as part of an offer. Okay, if that happens, there's no longer an offer. It terminates the offer. Also, if the offer has a specific time during which it has to be accepted, if the offeree has to accept during that time, or the contract offer lapses and dies. And as I told you before, if no time was stated in the offer, acceptance has to be within a reasonable time under the specific circumstances. So if none of these things takes place before the offer is accepted, after it's given but before it's accepted, then the offer is still outstanding, it has not been terminated, and it may be accepted by the offeree. But of course, there are requirements that must be met in order for the acceptance to create a contract. You knew that was coming.